Okay, so let's go back to the dashboard. Now in the dashboard we should be able to see where we can open for the exams. Now in case you want to conduct online exams, now this is your admin portal. Now you come down to open exam. The same way we were able to create the online the folder and the course for when it comes to online course, that is the same thing we want to do when it comes to the exams. The only thing I'm just going to show you here in the exam is how to manage the exam, because the folder is the same way, it's the same thing, but for the exams, let's see how it's going to look like. So for you to create an exam, you come down to click on this button here, then you would see create exams. So if I click on create exams, now it's going to open for me where I can create my exams. Alright, now if I come to create exam, I will just click let's go there and say let me call this first semester's exam. Okay, so that's the name of the title of the exam. Now we have the exam duration. Now this should be in minutes, so it's going to be the time it will take for a student to take that exam. So when they are taking the exam, there is a counter counting for them while they are taking that exam. So you may want to put a time there. So if it's for 1 hour, you add 60. If it's let's say if it's 1 hour 30 minutes, you put 90 there. So let's just call this 20 minutes exam. Now you select a category there, so it can be an educational exam, entrance, human resources. So you select whichever category you want. So for this, I'm going to call this educational exam. Right now in here I have show search results, allow review, and show correction. So I'm not going to allow them to just show in search review in search results. I don't want them to review, but I don't want them to see the correction, so that I can reuse that exam and again another time, or the question I want to use another time, so let them don't know what the course is all about. So I'm going to come down, let's get a description. Let's call this is the first semester's exam. I'm sure you know what the description and the summary is all about. So the description and the summary, they are two different things. One shows at the top, the other one shows as the about the exam. So let's do that, and then let's upload our video, logo, complete squared image at that up. It opens for you, then you add it up. Then when you're done with that, you just create your exam. Now when you create your exam, it's very fast. Depending on your network speed, it's going to create an exam for you. So that's what you're going to do. So once it has created for you, it takes you to where you can now see the exam that you have created. Now this is the first exam we've created with the image there. The first semester exam is there. So let's just click to open that exam. So this is the general exam settings. So once you open this is what you see. Now in here you can be able to manage everything that has to do with the exams. This is the general exam settings. Now from here you should be able to change update the name or the title of the exam. You can be able to edit the duration of the exam. Then the good thing about this is here you can also add up an exam start date and time. So that means you can schedule your exam when it would start and when it would end. Alright, so that's what you can do. So you can use the calendar here. So if you're an exam, you have an exam for a Friday or for a Monday, and you're in the week, let's say I have an exam next week Monday and today is Tuesday, so I can just schedule my exam for maybe on the 12th. Alright, and then I'll put a time. Let me call this 8 a.m. I'm not going to do this although. So then this is when then I can come down to this thing and say end on the 25th, and let's say ends by 8 p.m. Alright, so let me just fix that. So it means that what this means is that within this time, start date and end date, somebody can have access to that exam as long as they are subscribed to that exam. They can have access to the exam, but anytime outside this scheduled time, they can't have access to the exam. The system will prompt them that they are not authorized to take that exam. The exam has expired or the exam has not started. So that's how that works. Then you also have the summary. Now this is the ones you've added before, and the description, this was what you added before. Then you also have the instructions page where you can add up an instruction for that exam. That is what people would get to see. Alright, so when they want to take the exam, there's an instruction page they read before they click on start exam. So this is where you want to inform them exactly what they need to do before they start that exam. Then there's also a completion message page where you want to show them, maybe tell them and pass a message to them after you're done with the exam, exit the hall, whichever goodwill message you want to send to them, you can add that. Now once you're done with that, you can update your exam, and once you update that exam, somebody will not be able to have access to that exam. Just like I've updated this exam and it has showed me it has been updated successfully. Alright, so I come down to add question. Now before I will be able to add questions to my exam, there's what we call the question bank. So you need to have a question bank which is found in the exam section. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to add a question bank to your academy. Now let's go down to that part before I come here to add questions. So let me go back to my dashboard, and then I go back to my exam. Now in the exam side, what you have is, if I click on this point here, there's what we call the question bank. So if I click on the question bank, it will not take me to the question bank page. So in here you can store all your questions into their different question banks. It's as simple as that. Our system supports 5 types of questions. So it supports theoretical. So let me come create a question, add question to this question bank. So it supports objective, it supports theory, it supports boolean, it supports range, and it supports multi-choice. Now what this means is that if I select objective, it gives me the point to add up more options. So you can add your option A, you can add your option B. So whatever question you add up in the question section, which is this section, the question box, you type your questions, then it has answers. So in there, the right answer, you check it. So that's how it works. You check the right answer, then you add it up. For objective, it only have one correct answer. Just like I'm checking this other one. If I click on option A, the option B goes off. That is objective. So we must have just one correct answer when you've added up your question and the answers. Then you also have the theory. Now once you add up the theory, this means that the student is expected to type in their answers when they are taking the exam. So they don't need to have a solution or the answer to this question, so they will type that. So there's no need for us to check what is correct in here. Then you also have the boolean. The boolean gives us automatic true and false options. Alright, so boolean means true or false. So the question that you're typing in here, it's a true or false question. So you select the right answer. If it's true, you select true. If it's false, you select false. Whichever one you want to add up there, that's how it works. Then you also have the range. The range now has to do with minimum and maximum value. So for example, what number is between what numbers can you find before 9 and after 9? You know that the minimum there is 8 and the maximum there is 10. So that's the kind of question that operates a range question. And then lastly, we have the multi-choice. That this is where you have more than one correct options. Alright, so I have option A here. If I select option B, you will see that both option A and option B are checked. Alright, so that means I can have more than one correct answer. So that's how you would be able to add up your questions to your question. But when you create it out, then you have some of them like this, what you have in here. So these are the questions. If I click on this, you would see the answer. This is a range question, this is an objective question, this is let's see this one. Okay, this is an objective question. All right, so you can add up as many questions as possible into a particular question bank. So once you have your question bank, then you can now add up questions to your exams. Let's take a look at that. So let me go back to my exams. Now in the exams, let me go back to the first semester exam. Now in the first semester exam, I come to add questions. Now in the question side, I just come down. The system supports you to add up different sections. So you can have general section, you have the section A, section B, section C. All of that can be added by you. So what you just need to do, if I want to add up a section, I come to click on add section. So I can call this, let's say, section B. All right, let me copy this and paste it here. So this is two section. Now I have the general section and then I have the section B. All right, so if I come down to general section, there's no question there. If I come to section B, there's no question there. So now let's go down to the general section. Let's add our questions. So if I select add questions, now it's going to open all the question banks for me. Abstract reasoning, test 1, test 2, all the question banks are there. All right, so the ones that you want to add up questions to, let's select, then you click on that particular question bank and all the questions that has been added there would be, you will find them. So you can now select the ones you want to add up. So I'm going to accept these 3. So once I'm done with that, I will just scroll down and click on create. So once I click on the create button, automatically it will be added to the general section as the questions there. Now I also have section B. In section B, I will come down to section B and then click on this drop down, then select and click add questions. Same thing that I did when I was adding up. So let me come to test 2 and select the questions that are in test 2. Let's select 1, let's select 2, let's select 3. So that means this particular exam has 6 questions. So if I create this now, I have the third 3 questions that has been added to section B. So if I click on section B, you will see that it's there now. So I've added all my questions. So in less than 2 minutes, 5 minutes, as long as your question bank has been added, you can create your exam, add all the question in less than 2-5 minutes maximum. All right, so now you also have the secure and monitor exam. So here you may want to activate randomize, may want to randomize the questions and the options. Now what this means is that the randomized options and randomized questions actually means that the exam is being shuffled while they are taking that exam. All right, so if, for example, question number 1 for a particular candidate or a particular student can be question number 24 for another student, and then if I activate this, what I just need to do is to click on this and automatically it will be updated on its own. So then if I activate the randomized options, it means that the system is going to shuffle the answers. If it's maybe A for a particular student, can be C for another student. So even if they stumble within the same question, it's not going to be the same option. All right, so that's how it works. Then that's what you want to do. Then you also have the preparatory mode. Now this is where you are now going to do everything customization. You can allow your candidates to reattempt the exam for practice. You can allow them to pause their time while taking the exam. You can allow them to set exam duration before they start the practice. You can allow them to set the number of questions to practice with, and you can still allow them to see corrections after that. But if you don't want them to see correction, yes, you can uncheck that, they will not see corrections. All right, so you can allow them to reattempt the exam and they will be able to do that. So all of this customization has been added for you to use in the system. Then when they are done taking the exam, then you can now see the results here. It's going to show up in the table. For now there's no exam there, so you're not seeing anything there, but it will be shown in a table. All right, so that's how you will be able to see that. I will show you some that you can look at. They also have the subscribers. This is where you want to add up your user. So somebody that subscribes to your exam can be added here. Maybe people that are coming to subscribe to your exam, you will see they are in the table here, and of course you can take them out, you can add them in. All of that has been there, so you can see your subscribers. Then you can delete that exam if you no longer want that exam in your system, so you can always delete that. So basically this is how the exam works. So let's just go back to the exam that we created and let's see how it looks like for the users. Now let's come to exams. Now in this exams, let's open the exam here. So first exam is there, 6 questions is there, 0 subscribers, of course no subscriber is there. So once I do that, I click on start exam. When I click on start exam, now this is the instructions. All right, so I didn't add an instruction, that's why you can't see anything here. But then let's go to start exam. So once I start exam, it loads for me. You can see exam will start on the 12th 2022. That was because I didn't allow them to take this exam now. So you can see that this exam has been scheduled, so they can't take this exam. So let's go back to let's manage that part, and let's add up general settings. Let me take this to start on first. Okay, let me save this now, update this. Okay, let me add up an instruction too. Let's say answer all questions carefully. Answer all questions carefully. Let's update this one now. Okay, updated successfully. Let's go back. Now this is the instruction page now, so it's loading. Now you can see that the instruction has been added carefully. Now this is start exam now, so the start date is there now, this is the end date. So if I click on this, that means that the exam is going to load up for me, and now I can take my exam. So true or false, go on. So this is the theoretical exam, and this is the general section, and this is the section B. Alright, so now what year was Contentionary founded? Let me call this 2030. Alright, so you have that. Then this is the theoretical exam. Go to next. When can Contentionary be used? Let's call this 0 can be used within 0 hours. Then maximum ST23 59 HR. Okay, so that what I have. Go to the next. So this is the 3 of 3, so that means this is the last question in general section. So if I go next, it's going to take me to section B now. So through, you can see that the counter is still there, it's counting. Go next, through, then go next. Let's see, name of a person. Okay, now once you're done with the exam, now I'm going to submit this exam. Either I can submit it here or I can submit it here. So once I do that, are you sure you want to submit this exam now? Yes, continue. So once I do that, the system automatically marks 4 marks out of 6. Alright, so that's it. So now I've taken the exam now. If I come down to this place and go back to the results, this is the exam result. Let's see it now. Okay, let's refresh this page. Now back to the results. Now you can see that the result has been added there. Alright, so that's how you'll be able to see the result. Then you can still see the participant script. If you want, you can see what the student have answered. You will see this is the what year Contentionary was founded. This was the answer I gave. It was typed, so that's what you will see. You will see the theoretical exam. You have the true or false. This was the selected. This was the false. So this is the right answer. I think I got the answer. Okay, I failed it. Section B, you will see the question for section B. True or false, you can see what is a noun. The answer is there. So just like that, everything that was answered was there. So basically, that is how people would be able to take exam, and that's how you'll be able to monitor the exams in your system. So that's all we have in your center or in your academy. I'm sure you will be able to manage everything in your academy. Thank you very much, and do enjoy your academy.